Hey folks, Arcaden here with part 4 of this series that looks at the choices you can make in the narrative game Dispach and how they affect the story. This part covers episodes 7 and 8 and has a lot of meaty stuff in it, including showing the path that you need to follow to get to the nice Invisigal ending. Major spoilers ahead, and timestamps are below. Just like the last videos, I'm going to start with a quick plot summary of what always happens in episodes 7 and 8 no matter what you choose. Episode 7 starts with a flashback that shows the close relationship Robert and Chase had in the past. In the present, Chase is alive but in a coma. Invisigal has been put on suspension, and Robert and Blazer are unsure of what to do with her. Waterboy is not. He's upset at Visi for what she did and takes it out on the vending machine. The next dispatch is rainy and sad, and everybody is worried about Chase. After that, Robert finds the team in the boardroom where they tell him they want him to cut Visi from the team. Regardless of the decision, Visi hears this, and she and Robert have a conversation about it in the locker room. There, she reveals to Robert that she used to work for Shroud and was the person who placed the bomb on Mechaman way back in the fight in episode 1. She's responsible for the destruction of the mech. Depressed, Robert goes looking for trouble by drinking at the Sardine. Here, he comes face to face with Shroud and is tied up and tortured by whichever team member he fired. Shroud thinks Robert has the astral pulse, but it turns out Visi pocketed the pulse for herself and didn't give it to Shroud or Robert. Blazer saves Robert, and the episode ends with the Red Ring launching an attack on Los Angeles. In episode 8, we learn what the cat person needs to do to get by, and jump straight into Dispach. Red Ring forces are swarming the city, and they're led by whichever staff member Robert fired. The Z team is overwhelmed, so Robert brings in either Waterboy or Phenomaman, whoever he didn't originally choose, and together they fight to save LA. The power at SDN goes out. Royd finds Visi in the lab with the astral pulse and ties her up. The Red Ring swarms the SDN building. There's this relatively pointless scene with a villain called Thumbtack, then Robert gets into his mech. Shroud appears in a gigantic spider mech with technology that helps him better predict everyone's moves, making him near impossible to beat. There is a long final battle between Z-Team, Shroud, and his Red Ring soldiers. Visi joins the Z-Team in the fight. During the fight, Robert and Blazer will take down either Coupe or Sonar, whoever they fired in episode 3, but the team cannot get the upper hand on Shroud. He looks ready to take down Robert for good, but then Trackstar appears, crashes through the spider mech, and rips out the technology that helps Shroud predict things. Mandy appears and explains that she gave Chase her amulet, which has given him her powers. She thought that since nobody, except for maybe Robert, if he went on a date with her, knew about the amulet, Shroud wouldn't be able to predict this move. Everyone then beats up Shroud to triumphant main theme music. At the end, instead of checking that he's actually finished, the team celebrates too early, giving Shroud the opportunity to threaten Beef's life. The Red Ring soldiers are, totally fine, and they get the upper hand. Shroud reveals that Visi has been working for him all along, that he's predicted everything, and he says he'll spare Beef's life for the astral pulse. We'll talk about all the variations of the ending here in this video, but in the end, fundamentally, Shroud ends up either dead or in jail, and the team is recognized as heroes. There are 4 types of decisions you can make in this game. They're your inputs for the QuickTime events, the decisions you make in the hacking and dispatch gameplay sections, your decisions for dialogue and action moments, and dialogue and action decisions that the game tells you will be remembered by characters. I'm going to go through each of these like the last videos. To get all this information, I did over 10 playthroughs. That was full playthroughs of episodes 7 and 8, and I went back to episode 4 sometimes or other episodes to test out certain theories about how decisions are made around like dating Mandy or Courtney. So it's trial and error and observation. I still think there is some sort of scale happening that I can't quite see that affects the results you get. So if you get different results or have alternative ways to achieve what I have, please drop a note in the comments and let everyone know. There are between 43 and 46 QuickTime events in these episodes. All of them are in the battle sequences in episode 8. The reason there's a difference in the count is because depending on decisions you make, you'll get different scenes with different number of events. For example, fighting Sonar in the end has 11 events, fighting Coupe has 10. Of the 46 QuickTime events, I call 2 as having basically no difference. For these, the cut point between 2 shots changes, but if you look closely, what fundamentally happens, like in this, Robert always gets away, that's always the same. There's 2 like that. There are then 2 events where your input makes a significant difference, and then there are a whopping 42 where it doesn't make any difference at all. The 2 where your input matters are in the fight scenes with the staff member that you cut. At the end of the fight with Sonar, if you make this event, you'll shut down his powers and Blazer will burn him out. If you miss the event, he'll turn his new powers on you, but Blazer still takes him down. Similarly, with Coupe, if you make this event, you shoot off Coupe's wings. If you miss it, her knives fly around, come back towards her, and cut off her wings, I guess. One thing to note is that since each of these scenes is exclusive from the other, there's actually only one QuickTime event where your input matters per playthrough in these episodes. As for the 42 that don't matter, here's one example. This segment is exactly the same as this segment, except the screen flashes red when you miss it. As a reminder, you could turn these off in the settings. Moving on to gameplay. There are no actual required hacking minigames in these last 2 episodes, but there are plenty of hacking opportunities. You could just wait them all out or fail them all. In the episode 8 Dispach segment, when you are trying to reunite the team, failing those specific hacking missions means those heroes will come into your team injured. There's a new variation on this minigame where the rules get distorted like a funhouse where, the left button moves you right and there are invisible paths. It's cute. There's one Dispach segment in episode 7. This is similar to all the others. None of your decisions in this segment affect the story outside of it, and of course, whoever you chose to be on your team will be there on your team. In episode 8, there is one very long dispatch that is divided up into 3 chunks. This segment serves as a climax to the dispatch section. In it, you'll battle whoever you fired from your team, Coupe or Sonar. They are leading Red Ring soldiers on a path of destruction through Los Angeles. Over the course of the run, you'll also pull in the hero you didn't hire, and if you last long enough, Blond Blazer will join the fight. This dispatch segment is the only one in the game with a real fail state. You have a health bar, which represents the city's health. It depletes if you fail missions or if Coupe or Sonar destroy a neighborhood. They have a health bar as well, and you can deplete it by sending heroes to battle them. If you get their health bar down before yours, you save the city. If they get your city health bar down, you lose the city to them. This is the first time Dispatch has an effect on the story, although it's relatively minor. If you save the city, you'll have the opportunity to keep Coupe or Sonar out of jail at the end of the game. If they beat you in Dispatch, however, you won't be able to do that. They'll always go to jail. And now, the choices. In total, there are 31 decisions you make in episodes 7 and 8, and 10 of those get the They'll Remembered notification. I'll talk about the They'll Remembered stuff near the end of the video, but I'm going to organize this section a bit differently. I'm just going to structure it by the main decisions you make in the game and talk through those. Let's start with the simplest. At the end of episode 5, at the taco place, you can tell the team you're Mechaman. If you do, Flambe attacks you and flies away. If you don't, the team finds out at the end of the next episode when Chase lets it slip at the housewarming party. In that situation, Flambe ends that episode without knowing. The only thing this decision affects in these episodes is one moment with Flambe in the boardroom scene. If you revealed you were Mechaman at the taco place and he attacked you, he empathizes with Invisigal.
I feel the same as Golem. You all let me back in when you didn't have to.
That's it. He or the team do not react to your identity reveal in any other way in these 2 episodes. Even though in one version Flambe ends episode 6 without knowing, there's no moment where you see him get that knowledge and react to it. Next, your episode 4 hiring decisions, Waterboy or Phenomaman. As before, whoever you choose to be on the team will be in your dispatch segments and you'll get slightly different dialogue. In terms of story content, there are 3 scenes where you'll see a difference. When Robert gives his motivational speech to the team at the beginning of the Dispatch segment in episode 7, you'll get either Waterboy sad in his bucket, or Phenomaman drinking beer on the moon. In the conference room, when the team votes to fire Invisigal, Phenomaman or Waterboy each get some dialogue there and otherwise is present in the background.
I only came in as I thought we were playing Magic the Gathering tonight.
After the first Dispatch segment in episode 8, Robert will pull in the hero he did not hire onto the team for some extra help. You'll get a scene with Phenomaman where you learn the depths of his edible arrangements folly.
Unfortunately, I signed up for the monthly Melon subscription to save 10%.
Or a scene with Waterboy in which Galen gives one of my favorite line deliveries of the episode.
How you feeling, man?
Okay!
Hell yeah, bro. You sound okay as
Then the last difference is you get a unique line for whoever you chose in the final fight scene.
I'm going to make love to you now.
few other things. The scene with Waterboy in the break room happens regardless of who you hired. Also, there's some nice banner if you have Blazer and Phenomaman do a dispatch mission together.
I still have your hairbrush. I've been using it to comb my mustache.
They also get a synergy bonus. Now your firing decision, Coupe or Sonar. As many predicted, whomever you fire ends up joining Shroud and becomes your secondary antagonist in the last episode. They get some nice meaty content, which I'll get into in a sec, but first let's go through where you'll see whoever you decided to keep on your team. The pattern remains the same as in the last episodes. They'll be in your dispatch segments and they'll fill in the same spots and story scenes. You know, if there's a Coupe dialogue, there'll be a comparable Sonar dialogue. If there's Coupe in the background, Sonar will be in the background. In terms of story content, in the episode 7 motivational speech, it's either Coupe or Sonar on their phone reading the news. In the boardroom scene, either one of them gets a line and then is background. During the fight scene, Coupe drops some smoke and flies on top of this red ring soldier. The Sonar version is similar, he appears on the roof and then drops down on the soldier. In this shot, they both fly past Firemouth guy, but Sonar is holding a guy in his claws, which makes it cooler. They make an appearance in the similar way at the beginning of this shot. In the fake triumphant fight against Shroud, Coupe messes up his board with some knives while Sonar claws at the spider mech. And in general, whoever you choose to keep is a part of the bigger group shots. They'll also be present in the background for the entire epilogue sequence whenever there's like a big group shot. The staff member you fire gets angry at you and joins up with Shroud. They make their first appearance at the Sardine, where they will knock you out and then torture you. Sonar punches you. Coupe does a lot of things. The next time you see them is in the episode 8 dispatch segment. They are leading a bunch of Red Ring soldiers to destroy Los Angeles. Here they serve as the final boss for the dispatch game. During the segment, you will need to attack either Coupe or Sonar multiple times until their health bar is depleted, saving Los Angeles. If they get your health bar down first, they win, taking over LA. Then you get a fight scene with an augmented version of whoever you fired in episode 8. If you fired Coupe, you and Blazer will fight her and her newfangled flying knives in the sky. If you fired Sonar, you have a battle with him underground in the rec room of STN. The fights have different visual content, but in each, Blazer gives them a chance to join the Z team again. They both refuse and end up knocked out at the end of the fight. They both also trash whomever you kept, revealing a damning fact about the other's toilet behavior.
Keeping Coupe over me? You're actually so dumb, dude. You know she was stealing toilet paper from the office?
In the parking lot. Did you know that? Ask the cleaners how much guano they come across.
In the game's epilogue, the staff member you fired will be cuffed and sent to jail. If you beat them in the final dispatch segment, you'll have the chance to let them rejoin the Z team instead of going to jail. If they rejoin, they'll get a beer and join the final celebration. If you lost LA to them during the dispatch, Blazer will not let you make the decision.
After all that you're a bunch of betas talk, let's let him spend a few months in prison. She thinks we're weak. Let's not waste time trying to change her mind.
They'll go to jail. And now the main event, Invisigal and Blazer. As everyone knows, throughout the previous episodes you can make romantic advances to either Invisigal or Blond Blazer. By far, your decisions involving Invisigal are much more impactful to the main storyline than your decisions with Blazer. Your choices with her affect not only her future, but also whether or not Robert gets to exact vengeance upon Shroud. So far, you've actually only made one big decision with Visi. You could go see a movie with her or not. If you see the movie with her, you could talk about it at the Sardine in episode 5, but I don't think the choice there, or really anywhere else, makes that much of an impact, or maybe even any. The next big choice you make with Visi is in episode 7. After her recklessness causes Chase to go into a coma, the team tells Robert they want you to fire her. You can fire her, or keep her on the team. Either way, she's in the room and here's the decision. Next, in the locker room scene, she reveals that she was the one who destroyed your suit, and you have two important decisions. If you choose to forgive her, she'll end the scene by kissing you. And then during that, you could either lean into the kiss or lean out of the kiss. So what happens if you don't choose the I forgive you option? Here things get tricky. I chose the I don't know how to feel option a couple of times. In one version, she kissed me at the end of the scene. In the other version, she didn't. So to me, this is an argument that there is some sort of scale or variability that happens based on remembered choices. It's just opaque. What I do know is that every time I chose we're done, she does not kiss you. All of these decisions affect how your final scene with Shroud resolves. So let's talk about that scene. At the end of the game, Shroud holds Beef hostage for the astral pulse. Robert can either give him the pulse, give him both the pulse and the prototype, or give him the prototype. If he gives him the pulse, Shroud and the soldiers get super strong and Hulk out. If Robert gives him the prototype, Shroud calls bull and Robert gives him the pulse anyway. If Robert gives him both, which I think is the most enjoyable option, you get dialogue where Robert baits Shroud into making a rash decision. Shroud inserts the wrong one into his head and he and his soldiers start vomiting. Here is where the visi decisions come in. Regardless of what you do with the pulse, the scene will end with Shroud either pointing his gun at Robert or threatening Robert in some way. If you have supported Invisigal, and I'll go through what that means in a second, he pulls the trigger and Visi jumps in front of the bullet for you, saving you. You then attack Shroud and have the choice to either kill him or let him live. In this ending, Robert and Visi end up together. She gets put on a stretcher and then...
You got something on your...
Is it blood? I'm a bleeder.
Back to Robert.
Blazer and Robert will talk about the relationship at the car.
That was quite a kiss she laid on you. Gonna have to talk to HR about that.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
I'm joking, Robert. Relax.
Cool. So we're good?
Yeah, more than good. Make her happy. Because God knows she's miserable.
And Visi will jump into the final picture at the very end. If you didn't support Visi, or as the game oddly puts it, neglected her, then she'll appear next to Shroud. Again, this happens in all three options. In this version, she kills Shroud. Then she picks up his mask, winks at Robert and throws him the pulse, and disappears. What she gets up to after this is anyone's guess, but at least Chase is happy she took out Shroud.
She did us a damn favor because that Shroud mother to go.
So what decisions lead to these visi paths? Now, I did a ton of trial and error and testing for this, but like I said, there does maybe seem to be some variability in the system that I can't quite see. That disclaimer aside, this is what I found out through my process. To get the nice visi ending, you must go to the movie with her, keep her on the team, forgive her in the locker room, and then lean in on the kiss. You'll notice that each of these choices give you a red exclamation point instead of the usual white. If you go on a date with Blazer, cut Visi from the team, or push her away in the locker room, you cannot get this ending. In my experience, doing one of any of those will lock you out. Essentially, what this means is you have to both be romantically involved with Visi and have her on the team to quote-unquote save her. This also means that Robert's ability to make a decision as to whether he can kill or spare Shroud is locked behind successfully romancing Visi and having her on Z-Team. If you go on a date with Blond Blazer, you won't get that choice. I could not get a run to work where you get both the nice Visi ending while also dating Blazer. That's the big Invisigal path. Let's do some small little changes based on these choices. Whether you cut her or not, Visi will join the final fight, but it will change what Malevola says to her when she does.
You know you're not technically on the team anymore, right?
Oh, great. Well, I'll just go then.
You know, I definitely had that.
Oh, great. Well, I'll just go then.
If you decide to keep Invisigal on the team, all of the team members who oppose that decision will have low morale in the final dispatch segment. This means there's a slight debuff to their stats. This is compensated for by the fact that, in that situation, Visi will actually join Dispatch for a good part of it. She leaves early, though. Leaning in to the kiss seems to be the final signal to the game that you're romantically interested in Visi. If you do this, Shroud will always say something like,
I knew you'd fall for her. What is it you call her? Invisigal. That she'd steal that soft heart of yours like everything else she's robbed.
He'll say this even if you haven't unlocked the Save Visi ending. You just have to kiss her. If you push her away,
Courtney.
Shroud says this.
I knew you'd take, what is it you call her? Invisigal. That you'd take Invisigal under your wing.
Finally, in the lab scene, after Royd ties her to the equipment, you can choose to free her or not. Your decision to free Visi in the lab affects how your fight with Thumbstick goes. If you don't free her, Robert gets a lot of urine on him. If you do free her, she'll help you out and you'll get less urine on him. You'll also get a fun discussion about who puts away his junk. If you cut Visi from the team and kept her tied up, after you take down Thumbstick, you'll wake up alone. If you kept her on the team, but also kept her tied up, when you wake up, she'll still be there. One thing to note, for me, this decision did not have an impact on which Visi ending I got. Whether Visi turns villain or not changes what Chase says to you right here.
Yeah, I owe you and I told you so about Visi. But instead, I'm just gonna try to make you throw up.
Wait, what?
You were right. I was wrong about Visi. She didn't actually kill me, just almost. Now, let's see if I can make you throw up.
Let's move on to Blazer. This is a lot more straightforward. The big choices with her are whether you went on a date with her instead of going to the movies with Visi, and if you chose to go on a second date with her in the locker room scene. To unlock the romance ending with her on that first date, you could choose any option except for the joke about dressing up. There might be other ways, but this is how it worked out in my tests. If you did, as long as you don't lean in and kiss Visi, you'll romance Blazer at the end. That's right, you could play both sides, you cad. You can date Blazer and lean into the kiss with Visi. If you do this, you get this unique dialogue from Shroud.
I knew you'd fall for them both, because you're the only man in the world to be with Blonde Blazer and think you deserve more. You jump at the first chance to go behind her back with, what is it you call it? Invisigal. That's why we planted her here.
In this version, Visi will turn villain, and although she won't mention it at all, your relationship with Blazer will end and just go to the professional ending. As long as you stay focused on dating Blazer with those 2 date decisions and don't mess around with Courtney, you'll get this line from Shroud.
I knew you'd have feelings for Blazer, who I prefer as a blonde, but to each their own.
And you and Mandy will kiss on the car.
Any plans tonight?
You're asking me if I have plans for after getting ambushed by Shroud and the Red Ring?
Nah, was that too weird of a way of asking if you wanted to make out later?
No. It was perfect.
If you are dating Blazer, she'll also be more affectionate in the scene where she gives you money for the vending machine. I didn't catch anything else different, but let me know if I missed something. You can keep it fully professional in romance neither. There's even an achievement for this. To get this, make sure to lean out of the kiss with Courtney in the locker room and either don't go on a dinner date with Blazer, or if you do go on the dinner date, you have to choose the dressed up option, which unlocks the breakup option in episode 4 locker room scene, and then you have to take that option. Visi will turn heel, and you and Blazer won't date. The other big choice in these episodes is your decision to kill or save Shroud. If you kill Shroud, Chase says this in his interview.
We cannot confirm or disconfirm this evidence, but I can say that Shroud deserved what he got.
Mandy asks Robert,
So, do you feel better?
Oh, after killing Shroud?
Yeah, Robert. Why?
No, not even a little.
I should let you know that you're suspended pending an investigation. Just a formality.
Totally understand. If I'm honest, it felt great.
I'm surprised to hear that, but I suppose I'm happy for you.
Thank you. A little, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of like masturbating.
Okay, I really can't wait to see where you take this.
You know, it felt good when it was happening, but the second it was over, I was instantly filled with shame.
nobody in this game is a healthy person. If you spare Shroud, he gets wheeled into an ambulance. The Chase news bite is...
Got him. That was funny because he doesn't talk much. I see you. That was good. Wait, what was the...
There's a story out that...
Oh, yeah. I can confirm this story is true. I cannot confirm who this individual is. I can confirm he's a bad...
And it's not brought up in the Mandy conversation. It's almost as if she just assumes, like, yeah, you wouldn't kill Shroud. Those are the big choices and consequences that I saw. One other thing I want to mention is that in the end credits you get a card that states a personality for Robert. I got 2 versions of this. One was an anti-hero card, one was an everyman card. I'm assuming there's a third one, but if there is, I didn't unlock it, despite the many playthroughs I did. It's not really clear what affects these end cards, though you can make some guesses, like killing Shroud is probably a push in the anti-hero direction. Regarding the "they'll remember that" decisions, because of my experience in the locker room scene with getting a different result for the same I don't know how to feel choice, I feel that there is some other system going on that's weighting maybe some of these they'll be remembered decisions, but it's really hard to say. It could be RNG, I don't think it is. I'm going to take a bit more time to think about it before I post my final video in this series. And that is Choice and Consequence for episodes 7 and 8. Like I said, next week I'll be posting a final video summarizing the approach the game took and my thoughts on it. Now, the comments on the past 3 videos have been great and have been a real big part of why I've enjoyed making this series so much. I would love to include your opinions in the final video in some form or the other, I'm not sure how yet. But if you're up for it, please do drop a comment with your final thoughts on the game, what you liked, what you didn't, was it worth your time and money, whatever's on your mind. Make sure to subscribe to get notified for when that final video drops, and in the meantime, thanks for watching.